Hey, everybody. How's it going? All right. Julie and Chanel are here already. Man, y'all are just awesome. Y'all are awesome. I sent that notice out late, so I thank y'all for being here. So for sure, for sure. So everybody say, Urban Watkins, how are you? How are you? Information. Good to have you here again. Good to have you here. PDG Trill. Hello. Paula C. Hello. How are you? All right. Good to have you guys here. All right. This, guys, is probably going to be the last live of the month. So I'm going to be taking a little time off. And then after that, I think I'm going to probably narrow it down a little bit because just time wise and stuff, man, things are just a time crunch, let me tell you. So, but this is going to be good. So, I know you guys always have some good questions. So without further ado, let me get going. So I'm your host, Reginald Kuakaru, and I'm the founder of Kemetic Centered Living. And my sidekicks in the chat are Julie, Voche, and Chanel. So thank you guys for being here. Really appreciate it. So y'all see happy days, and I'll read my eye tonight. So there's Julie and Chanel. So guys, thank you again. And let's see. So this will be a positive experience as always. So please be kind to everyone in the chat. Be kind to myself. Be kind to my moderators, and all is well. So if you're not kind, you're gonna get bounced, and we're not gonna even give you a warning or anything. We're gonna get you out of here. So, but usually everybody here is cool, so I so appreciate that. Things get moving in the chat pretty fast, so I can't always see all the questions. So you can use Super Chat to give, and you can also use Super Chat to prime the pump. If you don't know about prime the pump, then you need to go to my channel and look at the video. How can I make more money? So how can I get more money and abundance in my life? So check that out. Prime the pump. Got to prime the pump, guys. So I have a class called African Mind Rewire. And it's to teach you how to apply this spiritual science. So, a lot of times people get into just reading and just accumulating knowledge. Well, it's more than about accumulating knowledge, guys. You got to be able to apply this stuff, and you want to apply it because it'll make your life better, plain and simple. So we deal with how to correct negative thoughts. Just your mentality overall, and we give you the science. So I'm giving you the science behind it, and the steps that you need to take that you can apply it. So it's not just theory and you just doing whatever. Okay. So definitely. So class is a good class. So also have a course called African Spirituality Before Christianity, the Ultimate Guide. It will break down any misconceptions you have about Christianity. So this is where I teach the definitions about a lot of the ideas that actually came from African spiritual science, which were like sin, Trinity, the prayer, all that stuff. And guys, I do a lot of videos on those things too. So Christianity just messed up a lot of things that end up messing us up. So I help you to reverse those ideas. So one, you're not living life in fear, always looking for evil, thinking negative all the time. Just a quality. You're going to have a better quality of life after you take my class or you do my course or both. And actually, if you take the class now, you get access to the course as well. So you get two things with one shot. Actually, you get three things because there's two courses that I give you access to when you sign up for the class. So it's over 12 hours of content and teaching. So it'll be very, very helpful for you. So again, thank you guys for being here. As always, appreciate it. And I'm excited to share with you and you with me your questions about anything Kemetic and metaphysical. So if I don't know something, I'm going to tell you I do not know, plain and simple. So I don't know it all. Don't try to act like I do. And the way I study things in a certain way because my mind just kind of works a certain way. That's all there is to it. So some people might even say it's a little bit warped, but woohoo, that's who I am. So hey, but that's how it goes. Herbalist KLG, thank you for that $5 donation. Ed, what's going on, man? Thank you very much. Ed says he finished reading Serpent in the Sky by John Anthony West. Mind blown, I'm telling you. Moving to the Kabbalion. Hey, you bet, brother. You bet. So, yeah, that Serpent in the Sky is pretty good. So, he actually kind of deciphers a lot of the science of, it's R.A. Schwaller Delubich's book. And so he kind of deciphers a little bit of it. But it can be very helpful. So good book, definitely. Uh, let's see here. So let's see, herbalist. Let's see, Rhonda. Hello. Love JJ. Hello. So we're going to talk about your topic today, Love JJ. So Love JJ asked for a topic, so we're gonna get on that today. Sherry Littleton. Hello. Sun King. What's going on, my brother? All right, Black Butterfly, good to see you. And Eddie Alexander Banks, Rhonda Gregory, what's going on, girl? Good to see you. Jason, my brother. All right, family in the house. All right, good to see everybody. Yes. And Chanel Novo say hello. And she says she's a noob. She's new. Chanel, we're glad to have you. Thank you for that $5 donation. Definitely appreciate it, as always. And let's see here. Let's see. Just looking, guys. Greatly appreciate it. Yes, great. Good to have you. That's Cosmic Stylist. Hello. KC Sunshine. What's going on, KC Sunshine? Scoop, there it is. Let's see. Hey, yes. All right. Let's see, herbalist. Free Trader, what's going on, Free Trader? I see Free Trader in the comments a lot. So good to have you here. Yes. All right, guys. So we're going to go to the top of the hour today, but we're going to talk about the idea of really taking care of yourself while spiritual. So that's kind of what we'll start off with today. But one of the biggest things about switching from spirituality or from religion to spirituality is the idea that within Christianity, a lot of times we're taught that we're supposed to sacrifice ourselves in a way. We're supposed to take the how Jesus did. Jesus sacrificed himself for us, for our sins and all of that. So for our family, for everybody, we're supposed to sacrifice ourselves. And guys, that is like, you have to take care of you first. And the analogy that I really like to use to express this idea is when we're flying on a plane. And the stewardess always gives you the instructions that if you have children or anybody with you, put the mask over your face first. Take care of you first, and then take care of the children, okay? Because if you fall out trying to get the mask on the children and you don't get it done, guess what? Everybody's messed up. So in spirituality, you got to think that you're flying on your plane all the time. And you got to put the mask and get your oxygen and take care of you first so that you can take care of everybody else. And there is nothing with being, I should say, selfish in a way, but that's a negative connotation. But you got to take care of you. And that means that sometimes you got to tell people no. Sometimes you got to walk away from people who are toxic. Because especially it's more difficult, especially when it's family members, because we all want to be helpful for our families, and we want to take care of our families. But sometimes we're in a position to where if we're like the kind of like the money bag in the family, I don't know how many of you have ever been in that position where people just start coming to you, whenever they need something. Whenever you call them, you can't find them. But when they need you, man, you're the first person they think of. Or you're the problem solver in the family. Everybody comes to you to solve the problems when when things are going bad or something is happening in the family, you know. And sometimes you just got to be able to say, hey, you know, I can't do it this time, you know, because nobody can give from an empty vessel, plain and simple, you know. And you should not feel guilty. You should not feel obligation. You should not feel like you have to sacrifice yourself for other people. Now, if you love giving because that's just who you are, then those people are lucky to have you. And that's where when you're giving because that's just who you are, that's a different thing than sacrificing yourself and you feeling, because those feelings, sacrifice and obligation, are negative vibrations. So you're putting yourself in a negative vibration when you're feeling like you're sacrificing yourself for somebody, or you're feeling like you're obligated to somebody. Those are totally different vibrations than you giving from the gift of your heart. You're giving just from because of who you are. That's a totally different vibration. So if you're feeling obligated, something's wrong. If you're feeling like you're sacrificing yourself, something wrong. Something is wrong with that. And I know for women especially, you are taught in Christianity that you're supposed to be the one to sacrifice for your husband, your kids, your family, everybody. You take care of everybody and just you put yourself to the side, you know, that Proverb 31 woman, you know, that you take care of everybody in the house and then you suffer. You're not supposed to take care of your needs. You're not supposed to even have any needs because your family's supposed to come first and above all else. No, that doesn't work, because you cannot take care of your family if you don't take care of you. You got to put that mask over yourself first. You got to get your oxygen. You got to be able to breathe. You got to be inspired, you know, to take care of family. Again, that doesn't mean that you're not supposed to take care of your kids and stuff like that. That's not what I'm saying. So I'm saying that you have to make sure that sometimes you take time out for yourself. Sometimes you tell the kids, "Hey, not today." Mommy's got to take care of mommy today. Mommy might have to go and get her toenails and hair did. You know, so do that. Treat yourself. You know, do things for yourself and don't feel ashamed for doing it. Okay, so we can have questions along those lines, or we got other questions. So anything you want. All right, let's talk about it. And I love JJ. You said you felt obligated for so long. No, and I know you know that, and even as men, a lot of times it's the same thing for us that we're taught supposed to be. Men are supposed to be the breadwinners. You know, we're a lot of times for men, we don't even reach out for love if we don't have our finances right, because we're just basically taught, in a sense, no romance without finance. You know, plain and simple. And if you're not the wallet, dude, you just SOL. You know, so plain and simple. But those things, we have to change those things. We got to change those things. So yes, Sun King, it's about self-preservation. Absolutely, positively, you have got to take care of you. Always take care of you. You know, and then you can take care of other ones. Let's see. R. Will, thank you for that gift. R. Will, 1144. I like those numbers, 1144. Man, I've been seeing those today too. R. Will says, I literally had a dream. I was on a plane taking off and could feel the wind on my face. New moon in Pisces has been intense for me. Man, what a synchronicity, R. Will, huh? Talking about that plane idea and then talking about putting the mask on first. So for real. Denise, $49.99. Thank you, Denise. Thank you very much. Much appreciated. So she gives $49.99. Priming that pump, man. Y'all priming that pump. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. So let's see here. Let me go back up. Let's see. Do you know a YouTuber named Young Pharaoh? If you do you watch his videos? Yes, I do know Young Pharaoh, and no, I do not watch his videos. I don't watch a lot of YouTubers at all. So there's very few YouTubers that I watch. Let's see. The Happy Day says, check this too. Thank you for sharing, brother. Okay. Yeah. So let's see. Yes. Okay. All right, just going back up, look at. Uh, let's see. Ed says, once I graduated, I became the dollar man. Brother, I know the feeling. I know the feeling. You know, for a long time, I was in that same spot too. I was a dollar man in the family. But a lot of us feel that, and we've been taught to feel like, you know, you got to give back, and you should, but you should want to give back from the place that makes you feel good, you know, not because you're obligated to do it. So that's a different thing, you know. Let's see. Yep. Love to say everything's about my. Yep. Yep. I hear you. Yeah. Love JJ. I know exactly what you're saying. So you're saying that it was about your family, about parents, about, you know, you everything was taken care of, family. You're supposed to take care of everybody, but you were kind of like left out, you know. So yeah. What, Vo Vibes is here? Oh my God, my daughter's here. Hey, Vo, I didn't know you was gonna be here tonight, girl. Good to see you. Good to see you. Woo! Good to see ya. Well, my daughter's here, man. The sun is shining all over the place now. But good to have all you guys here. So glad to have you here. Let's see. Let's see. BT says wisdom here for us today. Yes, absolutely, BT. Absolutely. So always. Uh, deal with this Christian. It's hard to be a spiritual person, but live with a strict Christian household. Yeah, that's just, you looks like young boy destiny. It is, and a lot of people think that religion and spirituality is not the same thing. So religion is really about following a lot of rules, and they're man-made rules. And it's men that usually have had an agenda, and they want you to basically follow what they need you to do. You know, and those rules don't usually work out because they try to make a one-size box fits all. That is the main problem with religion. Is that one box is supposed to fit, everybody's supposed to fit in that one box. That's not how it is. Spirituality is about you being expressive and expansive. And you're supposed to be, you connect and you find how to connect in your own way. You find how to give to your family in your own way. You do it in ways that make you feel good, not obligated, and not like you're making a sacrifice for yourself. You know that, because even with your children, you think about it. When our children, we do stuff for them because we love them. We'll go without our last meal to make sure our children are not hungry. For me, that's not a sacrifice. It's because, man, I love my children. I'm going to take care of them. Bottom line, and if I don't eat because they get to eat, I'm doing that. That's because I love them. They're here, but that is not a sacrifice for me. You know, I'm going to take care of them. But if you're doing stuff for family and it makes you feel like crap, you know, that's not the way to do it. That's not the way to do it. So for sure. Dexter, what's up? Priming the pump. Dexter, how's it going, man? Good to see you. Thank you for that gift. $9.99. Thank you very much. Let's see. Good evening, One Lost Spirit. Good to see you, brother. See, Miriam Miller says, how do you know when your mind is inside from a Christianity move? How do you know that you're? Are you asking how do you know like you're thinking like a Christian? Is that what you're asking? And if that's what you're asking, usually this is how I would say it. Find the things that make you feel good and keep doing those. You know, don't think that you have to have restrictions. Don't think that, because really what religion became to me a lot of times was I can't do this and I can't do that. It's a can't do religion, you know? And you're always had to filter all your experiences through I can't do. Okay? So that's what the difference is. You know, it's like you when you're spiritual, you basically make your rules. And I know that that's hard for somebody that's coming out of Christianity to understand. When you follow rules all your life and people have told you how to think, how you're supposed to worship, how you're supposed to look at the Bible, how you're supposed to think about the Bible, how you're supposed to think about it. People have told you basically all your life in Christianity, this is how you do it. If you don't do it this way, you're a sinner, you're not righteous, you're not this, you're not that. Spirituality throws that out the window. You make your rules for your life. You define your life for you, by you, and you have the courage to live the definition. And I'm telling you, it does take courage to do all day long. It takes courage to be spiritual. It's to be spiritual and walk your walk, you know. And because people are not going to agree with you, people might not like you for especially ladies. You tell me when you start to tell people no, and when you start walking this walk, and you start to tell people no, who you always did stuff for all the time. And you just did it because you felt obligated. When you start to tell them no, how do they start to treat you? How do they start to think about you? How do they start to talk about you? You know, so all the time. I mean, it's not an easy walk, and you're not going to please everybody. Don't even try. Black Butterfly, I see that Black Star Beauty, purple print. Thank you very much. I see that gift, $4.99. Thank you very much. So when you're walking this walk, you can't worry about what other people might think of you. And that is a huge part of Christianity, because you don't want to be judged by somebody. You don't want to be judged that you're not living the right way. You know what? With that kind of thinking, guys, don't live that way. I'm telling you right now, this is what you should do with them that want to tell you to live that way. I'm just forget them. Live your life, you know. And once you start living and understanding the universal laws, then things are going to become easy for you, because they don't put you in situations where you're being a contradiction. Okay. So when you start to live in life, understanding the universal laws, things will change for you in a way, and you will gain so much clarity, you know. And the bottom line is, first of all, what you put out is what you get back. Okay. And that's one of the things I was saying about priming the pump. You know, if you're short on money, and you have more month than you do money, a lot of times, then it's because of a thought process that you got to put things out into the universe, and you got to prime the pump for what you want. That's why our ancestors gave sacrifices, or did sacrifices. They weren't just doing it just to do it. That was their way of priming the pump in a way. They had farm animals. Okay. Well, if you want to have more abundance, you want to have more sheep or more cows, what do? You prime the pump. You give one to the universe, and the universe gives you back more. That's what the sacrifice was about. In our case, it's about dollars and euros. You give more, you give a little bit to prime the pump, and then you get more back. And that's how it's supposed to work. That was the foundation of what tithing was for. You know, but that's a whole nother thing there. So let's go here. Let's see. We got some questions on here about how do you not worry? Lovely Laura says, how do you not worry about what people think of you? That's a good question. How do you not worry about them? Well, I'll let me answer that question with the question. Why do you worry about what people think? Okay. What is the purpose of you worrying about them and they think? What if they don't have any control over you? If they're not paying your bills, they're not feeding you. They not your boss. What is their thoughts about you going to do to you? In other words, they have no power over you except what you give them. So no, worrying about what people think, no. And I guess I've gotten to an age where now it's just like, hey, it is what it is, So this is who I am. But that's a good question. So all I can say is that at some point, lovely Laura, you have to live your life for you and by you, plain and simple. And you got to take care of you. And people are not going, you have to make a choice of whether or not you're going to allow what they think to bother you or not, you know? And if they have no power over you, what does it matter what they think? That's really what it comes down to. What does it matter? So you got to think about it like that. Let's see here. And Camp Okoye, thank you. Yes, I am aware of Dr. Ray Hagen's Camp Okoye. So Dr. Ray Hagen was actually an inspiration for me. So his a lot of his stuff. So yes, absolutely. So good man. Let's see. Living your spiritual reality will make people happy and in control of your destiny. I don't get that one, BT. You're probably got to clarify that one for me. And Love J say, yes, I forgot them, the BS. So say just, you got to do you. Got to do you. London T says, what do your higher self mean? That's a good question, London T. So your higher self is, you got to think of, in the Kemetic tradition, your spirit or your soul has different levels. And within the Kemetic system, the soul aspect that is within your body and that experiences space and time is called the Osiris. Okay. Well, there is an aspect that is higher than the Osiris that is not within space and time. And that is like your higher self. And you can think of it and I'll give an analogy of how you can think of that. You can think of the Osiris you can think of like a mountain and a valley. Okay. So the Osiris aspect is in the mountain, or I'm sorry, in the valley. And the higher self is in the mountain. Well, the higher self is outside of space and time and can actually see things a lot farther off than you can in the valley. And that higher self can guide you. But a lot of times when you're in the valley, you can't see where you're going. And you just think about, you might be in the dark. You can't see where you're going. But that higher self can see it. But you got to trust that higher self to be able to guide you through the darkness. Spirituality means when you start to become conscious, that means that you are literally trusting yourself, trusting that higher self that's on the mountaintop that can see a lot farther than you can in the valley. And I hope that analogy makes sense, because it's the mountaintop, the higher self can just see farther out in a sense, is what I'm as an analogy is what I'm saying. So definitely. So I hope that makes sense to you there. So Michael, my brother, thank you. $20. I thank you very much. Let's see. Always comes through. So let me see. Let me go back. Let's see. Yep. So Voche says living life to please others versus living life to please living life to fulfill yourself. So that's always a prescription for depression, really. Most High punish you if you do not obey the laws of Ma'at. Will the Most High punish you if you do not obey the laws of Ma'at? No, there is no. Let's see, who's that? Anasia Harris. Anasia Harris asked that. Will the Most High punish you? No. There's no. The laws of Ma'at are not. You're thinking about laws that are like man-made, that man written. Don't do this. Don't do that. First of all, I don't agree with laws that says that start with don't, because the universe doesn't hear don't. So I'm not really sure that the laws of Ma'at are really legitimate. Because it goes against everything that I know metaphysically. That the universe doesn't hear don't. If you focus on something, that's what the universe is going to give you back. If you're saying, I don't want to be broke, all the universe hears, you focused on broke. That's all the universe hears. So I will not do this. I will not do that. I will not blah, blah, blah. Those are supposed to be the 42 confessions of my eye. But the universe doesn't hear that because it doesn't hear I will not. It's what you're focused on. But there is no God. There is no big white dude in the sky looking to punish you. That's the universal laws do not change their orientation, not change. They cannot think for themselves. That's not how it works. You act on the universal laws. You are the universal laws in human form. You just have to know how to access them in order to improve your life. So no, absolutely, positively, there is no punishment. As far as you being reincarnated and stuff like that, you're reincarnated to live, to learn lessons. And you can get in a cycle to where if you're not learning the lesson, you're going to reincarnate in new lives to learn those lessons. And you might, and you get, how can I say, you'll get, you'll be energetically attached to those experiences. And you get caught in that cycle until you learn them. But it's not a punishment. It's just you getting the opportunity to learn. So there's never punishment in the universe, okay? Now, that's not to say that living your life, you don't get your ass kicked, because I've had it happen. But it's not a punishment. It's me needing to learn a lesson. And boy, when you got a hard head like mine, the universe is going to teach you one way or the other. That's for sure. Let's see. All right. Let's see. It's 11. Let's see. The chosen one says, I finally caught the live, but I'm at work. Didn't even get a notification. YouTube don't want me to get this knowledge. Man, it's a conspiracy. I'm telling you. But thank you for being here, brother. I really appreciate it. So thank you for being here. Man, that thing jumped. Golly. Let's see. Okay. Let me see. I'm trying to look for other questions here, guys. Let's see, opportunity to gain. Yeah, so Voche says the opportunity to gain, the idea of punishment is religious. Yep. And in spirituality, adversity is an opportunity to gain wisdom. And that's where the soul, understanding that, and that's what the Voche is saying, understanding that is what you literally are, as a soul, you learn through opposites. So you gain wisdom. When I say learn, I mean gain wisdom. And wisdom is the information that stays with you through lives. If you just have something up here, that's why knowledge doesn't work, just gaining knowledge. If it's up here in the brain and that's the only place you can access it, it's not in the heart, it doesn't stay with you. Okay? So wisdom is the inner contemplation of knowledge. That's what wisdom is. And you learn something from it. But the soul, in order to gain that wisdom, a lot of times it is the pain that teaches us. Okay? It is going through resolving the pain that we gain our wisdom. Okay? And so it's not a punishment, it's the opportunity to learn. And that's what it's about. Let's see. David Littleton says, how to connect to your higher self. Good question. You can go within. So you try to shut down all the noise. And this is where a lot of people ask about meditation and stuff like that. Believe it or not, you're already connected to your higher self. You just have to recognize when you're getting the messages. But you go within, and for me, I ask questions. I'll ask for help from my higher self. Hey, help me with this. When I'm trying to figure out things with my business, I ask questions to my higher self. And a lot of times, I don't know if you've ever had a time when you might get, and I call them a download, but you get this this message that it just hits you out of the blue. You might be doing something, think about something, and you might have had a question about something, and it hits you, the answer. That's a lot of times when your higher self is speaking to you. And then those are the times when you take that information and you use it or you don't. Most people, when you're coming out of Christianity, you don't trust that. You don't trust that inner call a lot of times. You have to filter it through Is this God talking to me? Is this the devil? Should I do this? Am I going to make my parents mad, or I'm going to make my sister or my brother mad if I do it this way? Is this God leading me? You're filtering all this information through these things. When you have to be able to follow you. You have to be able to trust yourself. Okay. But you connect to yourself by going within and just asking and listening. The higher self is going to speak to you in the quiet moments. If your mind is always racing like a whitewater river, the higher self, you're not going to connect. So you got to slow down sometimes. You got to be able to, it's like being able to toss a pebble in a puddle and you see the ripples just ripple out. That's the state that your mind has to be in. It has to be that clear glass puddle, or at least it can't be that rushing river where everything is just going crazy all the time. But that's how you just listen, or I won't even say listen. You feel for your higher self. You feel for that information and that knowledge. PN Dub, thank you very much. Thank you very much. $10 from PN Dub. Man, y'all priming that pump tonight. Good grief, man, y'all all right. I appreciate you. Let's see, bro, how you know this stuff for real? So Emmanuel man, you gotta, I'm just gonna call you Emmanuel, okay? But I honestly, Emmanuel, the reason why I know a lot of this stuff is because I've had my ass kicked left and right. I'm a hard-headed MF. And life has taught me through hardship. I've had to gain and learn a lot of things through the experiences in my life. So being an old dude, I'm 58, and I've went through some things and some hard things. I've lost everything I've had twice. Because I was living life wanting to live life on my terms. I had to take those risks. I don't regret it at all. But I learned from experience. Now I learned through getting my butt kicked. So Deborah DeLeon, thank you very much. Thank you very much. $5 from Deborah DeLeon. So it's experience. So a lot of what I'm telling you and explaining and expressing to you is life that I've lived and that I've had to reconcile and things that I've had to overcome, dealing with family, sacrificing, worrying about what people think. Guys, I've been there. I've been there. Just coming up. We've all dealt with stuff like that. But I know how it is, and I know what it's like to reconcile those ideas. So it's not just a theory for me. Let's see. You're their idol. Let's see. Yeah, one last spirit says when people are worried about you in a negative way, just know that you're important and you're their idol. Let's see. Lovely Laura, yes, meditation can be very helpful. So Lovely Laura says, can meditation help? Absolutely, it can. Yes. So it can be very helpful. Let's see. That's in Blue Sky says, as far as I know, as far as I can remember, people would ask me if I was Christian, and I would answer no and tell them I'm spiritual. And you probably get that eyebrow like this, Blue Sky. Really? You don't know Jesus? You better find Jesus. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Let's see. Yes. Give me some likes. Guys. Yes, that would be nice. Let's see. Yep, you're exactly right, Voche. Social media is about outside people receiving outside validation. Let's see. And I read mine says, yes, meditation is so important. At Lovely Laura, I try to meditate every day. So she does that. She says she does that every day. So absolutely. Thank you, Humans Audacity. I appreciate it. It says, I'm a writer, a leader, and a learner myself. I love this channel as a learner. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. And believe me, I'm always learning too. The more I learn, the less I realize I know. But always, So, and life is one of those things where, in school, we get to study and then we get a test. Well, in life, you get the test and then you find your answers. So that's the way it works in life. So, like I said, I had my test. I flunked a few of those tests, those life tests, because life would just kick me in the behind and keep on going. Let's see. Mark Morris said, "Can you explain the difference?" You're gonna have to give me some context there, Mark. Let's see. Nope. Universal laws do not change. Man, I must be way behind. Let's see. And Happy Day says, "Teacher, why does meditation feel so good, like a natural high?" I can't, no, I can't explain it. When you're doing those type things, the brain releases chemicals called endorphins, and those endorphins, literally, those are like the feel good chemicals, So you're like releasing that stuff. So definitely, that's why I feel, and it is a high. That's exactly what it is. It's literally a natural high. And it can be that, but you can do other things to do that too. You can listen to music. I know Julie was saying that she likes to listen to music a lot, and that can do the same thing. It's anything that's repetitive, and understand meditation is not just sitting up going. It's meditation is something that is repetitive that you can release your logical mind from doing it. You literally, a lot of times, if you think about it, you can. How many of y'all have ever been driving on the highway and then you end up just driving by your exit? That's because you're so used to driving along that route that your logical mind is not even thinking anymore, and you're just driving. Your car, you literally, your mind is driving that car, and you've released yourself from the mental aspect or the rational aspect, and you're just driving, and you forget your exit. You don't even think about it, and you just keep going. Well, in that state, that's kind of like a meditative state. It's a hypnotic state, and you change your state to where you just focus on just doing what you're doing, and that's what meditation helps you do. Let me go. Okay, let me see. Where am I? Okay. Let's see. Kathleen's in the house. Vila Reyes, hello. Let's see. Let's see. Let's see. From a Kemetic perspective, how do I reconcile the concept of there being no punishment? And Gina Best asked that. That's a good question. So, man, this is when I wish I could talk, because I'd be wanting to like ask y'all like clarifying questions. But how can you? Let's see. Want everyone to go. Let's see. Feel the cops to suffer. They planted murder. Yeah, and and that's where Gina, how I've reconciled that is that I understand as a soul we all came here for a reason. And if you look at the video that I did, why does bad things happen to good people? Then that'll give you some perspective on how you can reconcile those ideas. Because as long as we think from a finite human perspective, then yes, we want punishment, we want retribution, we want blah blah blah. But if you are a soul and you live 1,000 lives. Just think about when we were kids. I know when I was younger, I used to like to play cowboys and Indians or cops and robbers, and sometimes I want to change roles because playing the same role just gets boring. If you're always the good guy, you sometimes want to play the bad guy. So actors do the same thing. You got to think of the soul in a sense as an actor or even a director that acts in its own movie, and you get to change roles thousands of times. You don't want to play the same role every time. Sometimes you might be the bad guy. in somebody else's movie that needs to be the hero. So every hero needs an antagonist. And as a soul, when you're moving through these lives, you have antagonists. And sometimes those souls make an impact on the collective. And that's where I see George Floyd and Breonna Taylor and these people that were brutalized by police. They ended up making the collective stand up and do something about what was happening. That was their part as a soul in this world. That they literally their lives made an impact when the police did what they did to them, and then we stood up against that. So they made their statement, but that's what they came a part of what they came here to do, you know. So, but it's hard to reconcile it from when we think from we got one life and this is it. It's really hard to deal to reconcile it. So I get it. So that's an excellent question, Gina. Excellent question. Let's see. But definitely look at that video. Why does bad things happen to good people? So that could be helpful for you. Let's see. Let's see. Shadow Moon, have you ever come across the teachings of Bob Proctor? Yes. So he teaches the laws as well and stresses the importance of living in harmony with them. Yes. So yeah, I'm familiar with Bob Proctor. So yeah, I've heard his stuff. But a lot of these things they're truths, you know. So a lot of people teach them, you know, from different perspectives. My perspective is different, you know. So we all teach those from different perspectives. Let's see. Punishment is a negative vibration. As long as you change your consciousness, you will not manifest on a negative or low vibration. Very true. Very true. And that's we're the cow. Okay. Let's see. And let's see. 999. David Rich, thank you very much for that 999 gift. Much appreciated. Let's see. The best way you can without harming others. Joy B says you must live and follow Ma'at the best way without living others. To a certain extent, yeah, without harming others. I'm sorry. But yeah, but it's not following something, it's becoming something. So these laws are not what you follow, they are what you become. And that's a different state of being. So when you're following something, it becomes your box. But when you become something, you are able to expand. So I don't follow a law because I don't want to harm people. I do what I do because I love people. You know, I do what I do because I love teaching. I'm being who I am. It's not because I'm following any law or anything. It's just me being who I am and enjoying being who I am. When you enjoy being you live life through your joy. You let joy be your guide. It's a whole different way than just you going like, oh, there's a law. I got to turn left because that's the law. That's a different way of being. Whereas you're creating your life as you go. You're creating your terms as you go. Man, that's a different way, and it's so freeing. It's a different way to be. You don't have to go, am I supposed to do this or not? You know, it's like, because sometimes it might be you bump your head, you go like, oh, well, I guess I should have did that. You know, sometimes that's how it happens, and you learn. You know, but if you're following laws, you'll go like, well, maybe I'm not supposed to do that. How do you know? How do you know if you don't? If you never stub your toe, how do you know that this is not the way that you were supposed to go? Maybe stubbing your toe, you go, oh, well, I don't want that, so let me now change this direction. You know? But if you never try that, you never go that way to stub your toe, you just stop, then you never change direction and you may never get on your path. So following laws doesn't get it. Following laws ends up putting you in a box, and it can be the thing that blocks you. Okay? if that makes sense. See, and KC Sunshine says, in all things we must have balance. Absolutely, absolutely. And Mac Music, I just call you Mac. Magnifico Mac Music says, I like your answer. All right, all right. Let's see. Comments are, you have a heart, brother. Let's see. I want to be a murderer or an abuser or a dictator. So, Love JJ says, I don't want to be a murderer or abuser or a dictator, etc. I'll pass. Love JJ, I hear you. Neither do I. But sometimes in the soul world, when you're incarnating with your group, with your soulmates, and everybody's soulmates ain't just about relationships and you loving somebody. Soulmates are about people that are close to you that you love. Sometimes your soulmate, one of your soulmates might say, hey, look, this is a lesson that I want to learn, but I need this bad guy to do this, to really learn this lesson and get it. So at this time in my life, this is during the soul planning. At this time during my life, I need you to do this and be this bad guy, because you love that person so much in the soul world, you agree to be the bad guy to help them with their lesson. Are there consequences to you being the bad guy? Yes, there are consequences. Because if you are the bad guy and you are not able to lift yourself out of that mentality, you're not able to lift yourself out of that vibration, then there are going to be repercussions of you having to recycle through and learn that lesson over and over again until you break through that. Okay? But again, it's not punishment, it's you learning. Okay? So the hero needs an antagonist. And because you love that person in the soul world so much, you agree to be the antagonist in the worst way, maybe. Okay? So I know a lot of people that have made me actually rise. I remember a boss of mine in an old job, old company that I worked with. I couldn't stand his ass. And he wanted me to treat people in a negative way. Well, part of my karma was that I abused power in a previous life. Okay? And I know that from my numerology reading. But I abused power in a previous life. Well, that boss was asking me to abuse my power again. But what I said to him was, you know what? I don't care if you are my boss. I am not going to do that. I learned my lesson. But because he was pushing me, I had to stand up to him. And when I stood up to him, that's when I resolved that lesson. And I'm off that cycle of abusing power now. Okay? But he, in a previous life, in the soul world, he had to be that asshole of a boss in order for me to be challenged to learn my lesson, if that makes any sense at all. Let's see here. Deshaun Lamar says, finally caught one of your lies. Glad to have you here. Glad to have you here, Deshaun. Let's see. Yes. So Arima says, hit that like button. And Blue Sky says, so true, on point. People around me say they love me, love my energy because I stay positive. I am a people person, not a pleaser. Yes. And yes, and Blue Sky is definitely, and thank you for that gift, Blue Sky. So Blue Sky gave $10. But thank you for that. But and again, it's not about you saying, oh, I gotta be positive. It's about something that's coming from within you. You know that the universal laws are going to give you what you focus on. You focus on your desire. When you focus on your desire, then that's what makes you positive. You focus on the things that you want, not the things that you don't want. Okay? That's why those 42 negative confessions doesn't resonate with me. Because it's a negative confession is nothing but you focusing on the negative. You're putting out the universe the negative stuff. Don't focus on that. Focus on what you want. Focus on what you desire. That makes you become positive, not just think positive. That's a totally different. It sounds like minute, but it's not. It's a huge difference from thinking positive than being positive. One comes from the heart, and the other comes from the brain, and you logically try to do certain things. The brain might not root out those subconscious programs that you have that are not positive. But when you become positive, then you start to monitor those things. So let's see. See, and where the cow, just in case you didn't know, this is a mystery school. Absolutely positively. Absolutely positive. This is the stuff. This is the stuff that's actually in the Bible that's hidden under all the so-called history. So, man, if woo, I want to say thank you. No. Okay. Let's see. Oh yeah. SJ says, so what do you think about karma then? Can we not decide what we want to do in our next life? So those are two different things, SJ. So karma is actually the energetic pattern that you can be stuck in. So let's think of that way. It's an energetic pattern. But yes, you always choose the lives that you want to do. You choose the lessons that you want to learn before you get here. Believe it or not. So we're never victims. We always choose our opportunities and our lessons to learn all the time. Okay? But karma is just, you think of karma as an energetic pattern. That's what karma is. And it's not around punishment like we've been taught. It's just you being stuck in that pattern if you don't learn your lesson. I think that's pretty good. I just came up with that energetic pattern. I like that. Let's see. Let's see. And happy days. So Osiris has no association with St. Patrick's. Hell no. No. Happy days. Chanel sent me an article earlier today talking about. She said, "What was Happy Osiris Day?" So I have never, Chanel, I've never heard that. I've never seen that. And I was reading. I was trying to say, how can he say that person has no idea what the Osiris is? They have no clue. So what they're talking about, no. But thank you for that. I appreciate that, Chanel. Really do. Let's see. Let's see. And Sun King says you have to turn on that light of knowing what you're doing is right. And what you're doing is right for you. Absolutely. As the old child killer rapist, that's what I don't. I'll say so. Campacoye. So, well, why would someone choose to be a serial killer, a rapist, or whatever? So, and understand. So, people might not necessarily choose to be a serial killer. They might have chose to do something a certain way, but what ends up happening, the brain can literally take over, and the higher self and the Osiris cannot bring that brain back or that mind back to center. Okay, so your brain can literally chemically just take over, and the soul can't reach you. Those are the people that literally die what they call the second death. They never connect to their soul. They never connect to their higher self. So, but somebody can choose, but they can choose to be the lesson for somebody. The rapist might end up being the impetus to that person rises to do something great. Abusive parent. So might it be the impetus that makes that person rise to do something great? It was like my boss was the impetus to me to overcome my lesson in abusing power. He was an asshole. But because I stood up to him, I was able to stop a cycle for myself. Okay? So it's not that, again, if you were living 1,000 lives, or if you don't understand it, think of it from living 1,000 lives, then no, this doesn't make any sense. But again, if you're a soul that's lived 1,000 lives, man, you're going to play part. You're going to play. Sometimes you're going to be the good guy or gal, and sometimes you're going to be the bad guy or gal. That's just the way it works. You're going to be on both sides. That's just the way it works. Let's see. Shadow Moon says, can we choose to come back to this life and make different decisions, ultimately living a different life? Absolutely, yes. Absolutely. But you make the decisions as you're living your life. You learn your lessons. So you always have a choice, always, of what you want to live and how you want to live it, But overcoming those ideas and reconciling those ideas in the life is what you're supposed to do. That's when you're gaining your wisdom, when you're reconciling those ideas. This is where people talk about balancing their chakras and all this stuff. The Kundalini and the energy rising, you're supposed to be balancing that as you're going. You're working your life chakras in a sense. Okay? And that's where people don't get where that's connected. Let's see. I read my, I said, I can't wrap my head around it either. Yeah, we talked about that, huh, Julie? So let's see. But it's all good. It's all good. Let's see. And KC Sunshine says, and thank you for that gift, KC Sunshine, $5 says, energetic download. Yes, that's right. Energetic pattern was a download. And sometimes that's how it happens. It's just like, boop, something happens like, man, that was good. I like that. So I'm going to remember that. Man, I got to write that down because I can't forget it too. Let's see. Listen to that inner. Yep, listen to that inner voice. Yes, Shadow Moon, thank you. Thank you. So, how do you feel about these holidays? The majority of people celebrate. Man, let's see. Magnifico Mac Music says, how do you feel about the holidays that the majority of people are celebrating? I'm going to say this. If they make you happy, celebrate the hell out of them. But if they don't, then you got to question why not. And you got to do what you need to do for you. So I'm not going to tell somebody else not to celebrate St. Patrick's Day. Personally, I don't celebrate St. Patrick's Day. I don't celebrate Christmas. I don't celebrate Easter. But that's a personal choice for me. I'm not going to tell you that because if on some level those holidays bring joy in your life, you should celebrate them. But when they don't any longer, then you have to question them and you have to make a decision. So again, that's what I'm saying. Don't follow rules. Don't follow what other people tell you to do. Don't live somebody else's spiritual experience. That's all religion is. Religion is somebody else's spiritual experience that you're trying to live. I use the analogy of explaining what religion is like is a virgin trying to explain an orgasm. A virgin has never experienced an orgasm, but they've heard somebody tell what an orgasm is like, and then they go around telling everybody what an orgasm is from what they heard, but they've never experienced it. That's what religion does. It keeps you in this box where you just don't experience life, So you gotta make your own rules for your own life, or I won't even say rules. You gotta live your principles. That's what you have to do instead of trying to live rules. Fire. Human audacity. This live is on fire. Thank you. I appreciate that. You must get out of those boxes you use. Yep, you got to get out of those boxes. You got to, and this is the thing. What happens is when, especially when you're in religion, guys, people that live in fear, they want their lives ordered by somebody else so they don't have to think about it and they don't have to take responsibility for it. In spirituality, you have got to take care of your responsibilities. You got to own your shit, plain and simple. And when you own your shit, then you can start to work through your shit, plain and simple. If you always looking to blame somebody else, them out there, you'll never own it. You'll never own it, and you won't change until you own your shit. Is when you can start to change. Bottom line. Let's see. Denise Carter says, "Have you heard of Santos Bonacci? He connects Kemetic with astrology and how the nursery rhymes and fairy tales are in the Bible and what it means from a Kemetic. He's deep. Yeah, I've heard of him, so I've seen some of his stuff, and he approaches it from a totally different direction than I do. So, but that's his gift. So he looks at it a different way. So, but yeah, but I've heard of him. Let's see. I love ice cream and cake and still enjoy. See, B. James says, I don't celebrate birthdays, but I love ice cream and cake, and I still enjoy it. Well, for me, I don't celebrate my birthday. I mean, but I appreciate if somebody says, "Hey, happy birthday," my family. In my family, I'll tell them happy birthday. But I don't celebrate. Those days to me, a lot of the holidays are really contrived to make us spend money, to be consumers a lot of times. Let's see. Yeah, but see, and I'll say this: when my children were young, when I had money, I bought them gifts for Christmas. So I didn't necessarily celebrate Christmas, but they did. So I had to live. I did it from their perspective in that sense. And I didn't mind doing it. But if I didn't have the money, I didn't feel guilty about it either because I didn't have it. So I had to move on. So. Yeah, I read mine says, how you gonna take a splinter out of somebody else's eye when you have a beam in yours? For real. Ain't that the truth? Yeah. Magnificent says, I like that I make sure I come back black. Believe it or not, you come back as many other races, brother. I can guarantee you. Let's see. Let's see, and let's say I reach out to you in the chat room and here and there. Yeah, and Jason, Happy Days is in the class too, so she's in the class. So all the moderators are. Let's see, I like that. Sure, come back black. Oh man, and French. Let's see, French name Phil. Thank you, Gabe. $9.99. I appreciate that, brother. Appreciate that. Let me see. David Rich, appreciate it. He says, I love y'all's energy in here. Also marry my current wife in the next life, or maybe you've been married before the past. Yeah, so Abby, that's a good question. So Abby says, is it possible to marry my current wife in the next life, or maybe we've been married before in the past life? Absolutely, that's very possible. That's where a lot of times when there are people that you just like immediately connect with and you just feel a kinship with, a lot of times those are people that you're connected with through different lives. You actually feel them. You don't know them that well, but something just feels right about them. They're probably a soulmate on some level. So yeah, that can happen. You can travel through different lives with your soulmates. But a soulmate can also be one of your children can be a soulmate. So y'all might one life your child might be your mother, and the next life your child might be your father, or you might be the father, and the next life that child is the daughter, or so y'all will switch roles. So that happens all the time. Let's see. And Voche says, I definitely protest consumerism. See, I'm not buying something out of obligation. I prefer to give from my heart. Yep, I'm the same way. I give because I love giving, and I do. When I have my friends around me, when I just love to give just because. And it is a gift. It's not saying like I'm going to give you this, but you better give me something back later. That ain't a gift. I had an aunt that lived like that, did that, man. She give you something, and then she reminds you of it, boy, for the next 5 years. I got to where, like, when she started giving me something, I was like, Nah, I think I'm good. So yeah, you're welcome, Abby. You're welcome. Let's see here. All right, guys. It's actually coming up. It's a little bit past the hour, so we're probably going to wrap it up here. So I want to thank all you guys for being here this evening and for all the donations and gifts, guys. Thank you very much. Y'all's priming that pump for real, priming that pump for real. So thank you very much. I definitely appreciate it. So my all my moderators, so Julie, Voche, and Chanel. Hey, thank y'all very much. Y'all did an excellent job tonight. As always, I really appreciate you guys. So, guys, this is going to be the last live for this month. So we're going to pick it up again next month. Probably because we've been doing a whole lot of them. I'm probably going to limit it to probably a couple of lives each month. So this is going to be the last one this month, and then we'll pick it up again next month. So we'll keep them going. That's for sure. And Love JJ, thank you for the idea today too, brother. So definitely appreciate that. All right, all right. So very good, very good. All right, everybody. Well, y'all have a good evening, and we're going to sign off. All right. So y'all have a good one.